I feel like Big Head Taco when I open up a video with me taking pictures of it. Anyways, guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. I haven't made a video in about a week because I just want to shut it down and focus in on a week of using this Leica M240 and not make any kind of quick conclusions with it. Now, 1 week is a quick conclusion, I know that, but I want to give you guys some feedback because it's transforming the way, or it's doing exactly what I thought I would do. But I got to be honest with you guys, this is the third time I've made this video. I've uploaded it once. I didn't hit the go button on it because every time I went back and reviewed the footage, I was like, you know, I'm all over the place, and it's going to be really confusing to somebody who wants to know how I really feel about it. But this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not going to do it again. I want to give you guys some thoughts on this. So if you're interested in the Leica M240, what it's doing for somebody that suffers from gas, somebody that's used all sorts of different cameras, stick around. I'm going to tell you guys what it is. But before we get started on the last video, I left you guys hanging a little bit. I told you I was going to buy a lens. I'm kind of a 50-28 guy when it comes to primes these days, and I ended up getting this lens right here. This is the Zeiss Planar 50mm f2 lens, and I'll do a separate video on this at some point. But long story short, absolutely phenomenal lens for the price. It's phenomenal. Am I getting lens flare from this in here? Okay, so I'll try and go through this in a lot of ways because in summary, this camera. This camera's got me all sorts of messed up. I almost feel like I have to move because I'm getting, hold on one second. All right, so this camera, like I said, has been just, it's got me all sorts of bent out of shape. Now, if you guys remember when I made the last video, I told you I wanted something that gave me the film-like experience, but in digital, like my Canon AE1, but in digital, and I wanted the image quality. And this camera 100% has achieved that, but it's also left me, it's transforming me. So let me explain, I'll go through this. I'll start with the table stakes. Build quality and ergonomics. Let's just get that out of the way. Build quality is fantastic. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's made out of brass, it feels premium, it feels luxury. Nothing like I've held a ton of cameras and nothing else feels like this. Even a Fujifilm X Pro 3 doesn't feel this premium with this titanium top and bottom plates. So it feels like it costs. But ergonomically, it's not really a small camera. I mean, when you put the lens on it and stuff, but if you look, this is pretty thick. This is a pretty thick camera, and it's very heavy because it is so dense. So, you know, it's not something you just throw in your pocket. It's not like a Micro Four Thirds camera. It's not a point and shoot. It's definitely something you got to wear over your shoulder, but it's not actually that big. It's got a thumb rest on it. I don't know if this comes standard on these or not. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's added on. This thumb rest, I would say, is absolutely essential to your success. It doesn't have anywhere for your fingers to land. At first it's bothering me, but now I just kind of, it is what it is, right? Since you have to hold the camera here to focus anyways, it's very well supported. As long as you have this thumb thing, I would say the thumb rest is absolutely essential. The sun is coming over this house, and it's in my way again. Hold on one second. So where was I? Oh, ergonomics. Yeah, they're growing on me, and I really love holding it. It feels premium. I'm getting okay with this. I know they make a thumb grip, but I think it works out pretty good. I think you can get used to it. It's not a DSLR. It's not that kind of ergonomics. It's not a one-hand camera at all. But once you get past that, I think it works out okay. All right. So now we get that out of the way. I want to talk about the things that kind of make me love it and have got me a little confused. First and foremost, this camera forces you to make pictures and not take pictures. By that, what I mean is this. You've got to think about your image. You can't just show up and do one of these and spray. It doesn't work. You have to think about what your depth of field will look like. You have to understand what your shutter speed needs to be, your ISO. You can do like an aperture priority type thing if you want. But then it's not just that. It forces you to bring the camera to your eye and focus on the subject through the rangefinder patch so you're fully immersed in the experience. And it makes you focus on the composition, because if you look through this viewfinder, there's frame lines, and you get to see outside your frame lines, so you can see what's in and what's not in. But then there's nothing really on the screen. I think there's just shutter speed maybe when you lock off your half press the shutter button, and that's it. And one of the things that drives me nuts about other digital cameras, modern digital cameras today, I know you can change this a lot of times, but there's stuff all over the box in the screen. I'm looking at this screen right now, there's stuff all over the place. And for me, I naturally will like mentally block those things out, and so I'm actually missing a big chunk of my frame. This purest intent from your eye to the image. There's nothing, no screen, no blocking it. It's just, that part is exactly what I love about even shooting my Canon 8E1, and it definitely does that for me. Now, in saying that, I have got to get better at rangefinder focusing. If I put this at f4, f5.6, f8, no problem. If I really slow down, have good contrast in the scene, I can nail the focus. But I'm chasing kids around. Kids are moving. I don't have a lot of time to grab the shot, and I'm really struggling on getting critical focus with the rangefinder focusing. I'll put 2 pictures up right now, and you guys will see as I'm talking through this, these pictures they're not great pictures, first of all, but they're not really in focus. I don't know if you can see on YouTube, but they're not really in focus on the eyes. They're front focused. And so I miss. And so that part bothers me. It drives me nuts a lot that I want to grab a quick shot. I don't have a lot of time. There's a moment passing me, and I have to get better at it. I either have to accept the fact I need to shoot at f8 or f5.6 and then be close enough, or I might miss it or I might nail it. So that's been a struggle for me. It's been a bit of a challenge. And obviously with digital, you get to know that right away, versus film, you don't find out until you get the film back. So that's been a struggle for me. Let's talk about overall image quality and sensor performance. Starting with sensor performance, what I've noticed for this camera, and I could be wrong, there's probably a bunch of scientific stuff out there that will contradict me, but what I've noticed for this camera is that you don't want to overexpose it. It doesn't do well with bringing back highlights. So typically I shoot my cameras at 0.3 or 0.7 overexposure because I like to saturate the whole sensor. I think I got to shoot the scene at 0.00, just say 0, or further, negative 0.3 exposure, backwards a third, underexposed a third. I'm struggling with words today. Wow. And this lends to my other part, is the metering system. I am now shooting spot metering, and so when I'm focusing, the part that I'm focusing on, which is maybe my subject, I half press, it locks exposure, and then you're good to go. But if you put it on evaluative metering, if there's some kind of high contrast scene, it has a tendency to overexpose, which I just explained the sensor I don't think does a really good job with. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you expose it properly though, the image output is fantastic. It really is. For an 8-year-old camera, for any camera, it's got a je ne sais quoi to it. It's got a vibe, and part of it's that the lens for sure, and part of it is the camera and the sensor performance. I know that, but it just looks absolutely fantastic when you nail it. And I'll put some pictures up at the end of this video with some music. You guys can kind of see some of the shots that I've taken. Yeah, it just looks really, really good. Let's see what else. It doesn't really do video. I mean, it does it. It sucks. The screen on the back is not the greatest resolution, so it's really hard to tell if you got the shot good or what it actually looks like. Let's just put it this way. When you put the files in Lightroom, they look worlds different than what the back of the screen looks like. That's my opinion. What else? The EVF. I bought this. The guy sold it to me with the Olympus EVF. Very critical piece. Like, if I get asked to go shoot baby portraits, which I'm going to be doing here probably pretty soon, I'm going to try and shoot it with this camera. And the EVF clicks right into here, right? In this top of the hot shoe. It's critically important, I think, for locking focus straight in. So this camera right here has a button right here in the front, this one. And the way the EVF works is that when you push that button, it'll zoom in on the image, and then you can get your focus. It has focus peaking. It's not the greatest focus peaking, but it does work. But if you click this button and zoom right in, you can then lock in your critical focus, whereas in the rangefinder patch, I struggle with this sometimes. So if I go to shoot a professional job or a job that requires me to deliver photos for somebody and I'm getting paid or doing it as a favor, I'm going to be using that EVF, at least for now, until I get better at it. What else do I want to tell you guys about it? The thing I struggle with is that if I pay $2,500 for the body, another $900 for the lens, even with the 8-year-old camera, there are a lot of cameras out there that can do the job better. In terms of locking focus, being quicker, video, all that different stuff that you need for a hybrid camera and any camera for that matter. But this is not that. And I know that. And I'm very happy with that. What I love, and I just can't seem to get past, is I love the build quality. And I love how it forces me into my images. And I've got to become okay with missing some shots because that's what the camera is. That's what the camera is. It inspires me to pick it up. I want to go shoot every day right now. It's just incredible. I've been shooting every day with this camera. I love it. But with that being said, it's not pocketable, it's not portable, it's not good at a lot of things. On paper, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so I struggle with my logical, rational mind and my emotional mind with this camera. And I guess the long story short of it is, what did I expect? What did I expect? I absolutely love the camera. I'm keeping it for a while, maybe forever. Really got to get more proficient at the rangefinder focusing, but there's nothing like it. It's the experience. It really is. This is what I did in the last 2 videos. I dogged on it, and then I like gushed over it, and it didn't make sense to somebody watching it because it's that kind of camera to me after 1 week. And I think maybe after a month or 2, I'll have a different opinion. Maybe I'll give you an update at that point. It's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. And I'm learning to use it. It's training me. The camera's training me. I'm making images. I'm not taking images. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. I hope that makes a lot of sense for you guys. If it doesn't, I apologize. Comment section below. If anybody has any tips and tricks how to get faster with the rangefinder, I've watched a lot of videos, so maybe you have something else to offer. I don't know, but I'd love to hear it. Anyways, yeah, this is my Leica M240, and I love it, and it's awesome. It's not everything to everybody. It's definitely an experience. It's an acquired taste, and it's exactly the taste I think I needed. So I'm going to use this for a while longer. I'll give you guys another update video after a month or 2, and we'll see how it goes. And by the way, this is ice lens. I think it's money for $900 compared to whatever a Summicron cost. This lens is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. All right, cue some music. Here's some pictures I've taken. I'll see you in the next one. I know this was kind of a mess. I've tried to film this 3 times. I can't get my thoughts together. It is what it is. All right, see ya. Bye. By the way, if you guys wanted to know when I record these videos, I have very little time to get this done. I have to do it while my daughter's sleeping. Look at all the lighting changes. And she just started moving. So, just barely made it.